Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I've been wanting to make a video and put my thoughts together, but I can't seem to just speak off the cuff, so I did write something. I'm just going to read it. I have questions. To all those preaching peace to appear to be sincere humanitarians and taking neutral stances in the face of ethnic cleansing, oppression, and mass genocide, let me remind you that your neutrality has you on the side of the oppressors. And if that is the side of history you're choosing to be on, that's your prerogative, but do not think that your stance will be forgotten. On the other hand, if you're someone who legitimately does not know enough about the topic, then make the effort to educate yourselves on the matter, please. My father had a saying that he would repeat often. It is look before you leave and think before you speak. Back to all the peacekeepers, ask yourself, how can one achieve peace with a colonial system whose goal is to genocide and slaughter your people in order to continue to steal their land? How do you achieve peace with a system who's hell-bent on obliterating your entire race of people and demolishing one of the holiest sites for Muslims around the world? Because for those who don't know, this is a religious crusade against Muslims and Islam. The goal is to demolish Aqsa. At the end of this video, I'm going to recommend 3 documentaries for those who truly want to understand what is happening in Palestine and why it's happening. I'm not trying to be rude or mean or harsh, but right now we don't have time to mess around. It is time for some tough love. Especially to the Muslims out there who are cowering when your ummah needs you to proudly declare your faith without fear and stand bravely behind your Palestinian and Muslim brothers and sisters in their time of need. And before anyone comes at me, I will be the first one to admit I am by no means a perfect Muslim, nor have I ever claimed to be one. None of us is perfect, but the goal of every believer should be to continuously do better and get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through practicing our deen to the best of our abilities. What's happening right now around the world to our brothers and sisters who are Muslim, it is horrific. And the entire meaning of the word Muslim is one who submits to the will of God. So we as Muslims, as believers, have to learn to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every circumstance and trust that the enemies of Islam have always plotted and will continue to plot globally. But Allah plans, and Allah is Al-Hakim. He is the all-wise and He is the best of planners. We as an ummah cannot be this disconnected and spiritually dead in our hearts that we fear consequences from other people, yet we don't fear that we will be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one day on whether we stood up for the truth when we knew it, whether or not we demanded justice in the face of injustice. There is absolutely no compulsion in religion, and I'm not here to convince anyone whether Islam is the truth or not. But a mu'min, a believer, a person who has studied Islam with a humble heart knows that it is the truth. Therefore, as Muslims, with all of our flaws, we need to continue to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, and we need to proudly proclaim La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah fearlessly in the face of falsehood and lies. This shouldn't even be a question. Because what's been happening globally and what is happening globally right now is a war on Muslims and a war on Islam. Because Islam is the only ideology that is the biggest threat to Western capitalist societies. Islam is a threat to secularism and these godless, misguided colonial systems of oppression, because Islam teaches human beings the opposite of what the systems of oppression, injustice, and enslavement want you to believe. Getting back to the root of this occupation, the entire goal is to demolish Al-Aqsa Masjid and to rebuild the third temple of Solomon so that evangelical Zionist Christians such as Joe Biden and the likes of him can expedite and fulfill a biblical prophecy of the second coming of Jesus, peace be upon him. If you don't believe me, I'll suggest a documentary that everyone needs to watch. It's available on YouTube. It's called Waiting for Armageddon. 2 more documentaries I have to suggest for those who want to try to understand what's happening is Gaza Fights for Freedom by Abby Martin, and one named Palestine is Still the Issue by John Pilger. For For those of you who do make the time to watch these 3 recommended documentaries, they should be able to help you understand the magnitude and severity of apartheid and oppression that Israel's government has been subjecting Palestinians to since 1948. For those who do take the time, after which anyone with any sense of humanity in their hearts, after researching the truth of what's happening in Palestine, should be able to correct their previously misguided opinions. And anyone who still chooses to continue to propagate misinformation or opinions which only coincide with their own beliefs and biases, then you are the people whose hearts have been sealed. So continue to wander deaf, dumb, and blind, because we will not stop. Palestine will be free, inshallah. And as much as these kafir, colonial, Islamophobic Western systems hate it, Islam will continue to rise and is continuously rising. Because Allah is sufficient. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need you, He does not need me or anyone else to preserve and protect His chosen way for all of humanity. As for me, I don't care about social media followings. I don't care about being canceled. I don't care about anything. I care about justice. So whoever wants to come at me, you can hate me, love me, doesn't matter. I'm going to speak the truth. Palestine will be free. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for watching.